Welcome back to Native Honor Hours this week. We have a guest-less show again, but people are just thinking, man, you guys are just boring by yourself. Why don't you bring somebody good on?
For yourself. I'm not boring. I'm quite interesting. I'm unique and interesting.
You're the definition of that, Cindy. And she's not wearing her glasses this week.
I know. I'm trying it because of the glare. Now I can't see anything, but I'm not glaring.
Yeah, we don't need to see you anyway. Or you don't need us.
Survive in finals.
Well, we have another week. There's a lot of things that have happened, and shall we get started? First of all,
let's make an introduction.
I thought we were going to do that at the end.
No, I want to bring him out first. You know, if Ed and I were left on our own to put on this TV show, you would not be watching it because neither of us could figure out how to work Zoom for the last 9, 10 years.
Or anything else for that matter.
How long have we been doing this? 10 years?
Somewhere along that line.
The brains behind all of this has been Kyle/Kenny. He is definitely our brains. He is the one who makes everything happen. And he's also calm with Ed. And we all know how difficult that is. Kenny, we'd like to see you.
All right. I'm on here.
Shall we tell them the story of how you got your name, Kenny?
You can, so I don't have to, you know. Everybody always asks that.
All right, well, this is the official story of why his real name is
Kyle.
Sometimes I don't even, it's not natural coming out of my mouth.
I know.
His first name is Kyle, but when we first started doing this, you know, as Cindy said, neither one of us know how to do, we barely can, at the time this started, we barely knew how to do emails. And it was suggested we do a radio show on MAV Radio back at University of Nebraska, Omaha. But you have to provide all the technical stuff. You know, they provided the facility, but you have to go in and do it. And neither one of us knew what the heck. We could turn on an AM radio dial, maybe.
No, I know. And you know, how did we even get Kenny? Was it his idea to do the radio show?
I don't even know, but
so go ahead with your story.
But Kenny was there. I think you even asked me if we should do this, right? When you suggested maybe we should do a show.
Yeah, probably, because like I was already doing some radio shows then, and like I think I was taking your classes at the time, and you guys were always guys were always doing stuff, you know, active in the community. So I'm like, you know, hey, we could probably
might as well do a show. And we're like, yeah, but we don't know how to do it. So Kenny volunteered to do that for us. And I told Cindy, have one of my students that will do this for me. And she kept calling you. I said his name's Kyle, whatever your first name is. And then she would always call you Kenny, Kevin, Curtis, anything that started with a K sound. And so finally one day we said, all right, we're going to settle on a name, Cindy, because she was all over the place. And she said, Kenny. And so we said, all right, we're gonna go with Kenny, and that's what we're gonna call you from now on.
Well, he never corrected me.
That's all Cindy can remember.
He never corrected me. Kenny has answered to Kenny since I first started to know him. We've been with him through many iterations of hairstyles.
Iterations of hairstyles. Well, like back when I had the afro, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I remember you when you were so young, little Kenny, and now look at you working in the big time, Facebook Live.
Yeah, back when we started, I didn't even think he can grow facial hair. Now look at it.
No.
That's how much he's matured over the years.
Our job is to feed Kenny. You owe him like a year's worth of dinners from COVID.
Hey, I promised him today I was gonna burn some steaks for him, but he's got.
I got finals.
How many finals you got, Kenny?
I just got one. I got to finish today, so I got my.
That's Kenny / Kyle Finley, who's our production. Your official title, production?
It'd be producer / director at the moment.
Producer, executive, something. Yeah,
it sounds agent.
He's the one that sets us up for us. or people might say he's the one to blame for all of this.
No,
Or
I just do the
when
behind the
we
scenes.
accept
So.
what is it for when we accept our cable access awards? I will thank you, Kenny.
Cable access awards.
Yeah, our public TV access.
I'm prepared to give it to you, little brother.
You know, we are on their front page, I think, for one of their things. They used a picture from our TV show.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Was it a good picture of me? I'm going to have to get a contract that says I get to okay all photos being taken.
You want some royalties or something on that?
No,
Now, if only people watch this, Kenny.
That picture, no.
If only we had viewers. That ought to be our next goal.
Heck, you had how many viewers for the comedian whose name I can't even remember now?
Don Burnstick.
I think you scheduled him on the day I was getting the shot because you knew I wouldn't be able to be there.
No, Kenny, we didn't have any idea she was going to cancel on us, did we?
No.
But it was worth it. I am vaccinated. I'm ready to hit the road. I'm going to Colorado with my son and his family in a couple weeks. I want to go to Chicago to see the Frida Kahlo exhibit. Maybe going to hit up the Shakopee Powwow in August.
Are you gonna stock up once you get to Colorado?
With treats for my grandchildren.
You're not buying that stuff for your grandchildren, are you?
Eduardo's and Dejas.
Yeah, we know.
Colorado.
We know you're stocking up for you and Sarah.
There's something about being in the mountains. I just can't explain it. I just feel good just sitting
Yeah,
there.
I think John Denver had a song about that. Wasn't it Rocky Mountain High?
Is John Denver still alive? Does anyone in our audience even know who John Denver is?
Cassie's
Ed,
Cassie's listening to it, so.
I was not what you would call a John Denver fan. No. The little page boy haircut and round glasses was not my kind of musician.
Well, shall we get into whatever's happening in Indian country?
You know, it seems like we're going through a kind of quiet, restful period. No, I haven't seen anything in the news.
No,
not illuminated.
You just don't look. You know what today is?
What?
It is Billy Mills Day. So it's Happy Billy Mills Day.
Well, also, we just had marches all across the United States for missing and murdered Indigenous women.
That was yesterday.
Yep. There were a lot of marches, a lot of people with Deb Holland's new task force on missing and murdered Indigenous women. Maybe something will get done. I see those lists that the tribes put out of missing girls, missing. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. And I'm glad that finally somebody is going to do something about it. Or hopefully knock on wood.
Is this your What's Auntie Deb up to this week segment?
Well, you know, this was last week, but definitely, and she put out some beautiful pictures of her on Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's Day.
All right, so now that Auntie Deb is going to take the reins of this, you know, hopefully there'll be a major focus on that.
Well, you know, I'm hoping a major focus on that. I'm hoping a major focus on protecting our sacred sites. You know, we don't have much. What we have that's sacred really needs to be protected. It's going to help a lot of the Indian trust land issues. I just see it as being a really good thing. Of course, because she's a woman and a Native American. Hello, America, we are here. No matter what CNN says, we are here representing a strong culture.
That means you're not going anywhere?
Years.
Does that mean you're not going anywhere?
Never. I'm going to stay as your official TV. You know what? Poor Kenny. Our kids will have to be rolling us in. We won't be able to hear each other talk, but by God, we'll still be doing the radio show or TV show.
Or Zoom show.
Or Zoom show.
You know what I think the biggest value of these shows are for me anyway?
What?
They'll be stored somewhere, won't they, Kenny, for my grandkids?
Yep.
They'll be,
even if
online forever.
If no one watches these, at least my grandkids will say, man, Grandpa had a big head.
You know, that's kind of sad. My dad did years of TV shows. He had a TV show in Lincoln one day a week after football games to talk about the games and to bring guys on and stuff. And I remember years of just going with Dad and sitting outside the room while he did those shows. They're gone. We don't know where they are. Nobody has ever been able to find them, but it would have been great if my grandkids could have seen a young Dad. You know, he was young then. Dad was young, funny, and those shows are gone. You know, Ed, there is a film out there of you. Got fry bread.
The good thing
that,
about this is that they can't see my bald spot in the back.
That was the most embarrassing film you and I have ever had out there. And it was the most embarrassing moment of, I think, both our lives when they opened up that big theater-sized screen and we both saw our faces. Sarah and my friend were sitting in front of me, and Sarah's shoulders were shaking so hard because she was trying to hide laughter.
Is that when we were eating all that fry bread?
Yes, and we did that whole movie about it that they premiered at the Joslin.
Yeah.
We have done some unusual things.
What we did for our native youth.
Oh,
I don't want to hear anybody say that we never did anything for the. No, we ate fried bread all week. Got all greasy.
Kathy, remember she had
about
a bad
20 pounds that week.
About halfway through one year, she had to quit. Her stomach just couldn't do it.
I think that was the beginning of me losing my gallbladder.
You know, it really could have been. I was always so glad to do that, and it was so much fun. But boy, we ate a lot of food those 3. That's probably why I look like now. I probably stretched my stomach out that week.
See, and it wasn't like they, food tasters where you just take a little bite. The kids would stand there and
yes,
and said, "Oh, that was really good. Let me have some more." I'm like,
somebody's soup was so thick you had to eat it with a fork. This is so good. I like a thicker soup.
It was a food coma that week.
Oh, speaking of coma,
there's some value to doing these shows, and I don't know. Kenny, make sure they don't get lost.
You know what the value is for me? There's Native Americans putting something out there. You know, if nothing else, we are 2 Native Americans who put a show out there about Native issues. I bet there aren't a lot, and I'm sure none of them nearly as good as this one.
I think it barely reaches the bar for, whatever it is
I'm calling us
required for a show.
Entertainment TV. We are entertainment TV. We are what did that guy who reviewed us say? We are the Regis and Kathy Lee of Indian TV.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of Indian TV out there, but there's getting to be more. Speaking of, Brother Gary is in 2 episodes of Rutherford Falls. I haven't seen it yet.
You watch that? I haven't watched it either.
It's on some streaming network. Is that right, Kenny?
I don't know.
It's not on. I don't think it's on a major.
Ask Monica.
She did, but I think it's on some streaming thing that you have to. I don't see. That's how low our technology, understanding is. If it says stream, I don't know what it means. Where's my remote? Let me turn it on, and then I'll watch it. Don't make me go through 4 or 5 different, little clicks on my remote to get to some place.
It's on
Peacock? I have a Roku streaming stick that I've had for like 5 weeks now, and I still haven't plugged it in because I don't know how.
But Brother Gary, I saw was on a couple episodes of Rutherford Falls.
And Michael Gray Eyes, who was here. You know what? On Facebook, a lot of stuff comes up from memories. We've had a lot of really famous people at UNO.
We have.
Michael Gray Eyes was definitely one of the best looking. I will say that. We all put on a little extra lipstick for that film festival.
Graham Greene?
Graham Greene is darling as well, just in a different, less classically handsome way.
Brother Gary?
They are handsome. Gary Farmer is just a cute little bundle of joy.
Then remember that Rudy Youngblood?
Yeah.
Who was, what was the name of that movie he starred? Mel Gibson movie he was a star of.
I can't remember.
Kenny, help us out.
I can't remember. I didn't see it. I don't watch anything with Mel Gibson.
His character was Jaguar Paw.
That was the name of his character.
That was his name, yeah.
Yeah, how come?
But it was a big movie. Like I said, Mel Gibson was the, but he was remember
Apocalypto.
Apocalypto, yeah. And remember when he came, all the younger girls sort of ran up there to him, and you know he was sort of soaking it all in. But
and somehow I ended up taking him back to the hotel where we sat in the car and visited for about 30 minutes. Wasn't his partner that Misty Upton?
I don't know.
They found, and I think we talked for quite a bit about that. He was a really good kid. A really good kid. Everybody we've had has been nice. Brother Gary has his moments, I'm the first to admit, but you handle that. I don't have to.
Ernie Webb was pretty cool.
Cassie says the lacrosse guys were the cutest.
Who said that?
They were.
Cassie.
They were.
My boys.
And then an update, that Peacock site, yeah, you sign up for free and then you can just watch shows. It's on there, so you can just sign up online and watch it, I guess.
See, I have to sign up. I just want to press my remote and go to the channel and then watch it.
I get frustrated because, you know, it's like typing on your remote control changer to log into this stuff and give them information. And it takes me so long, I end up getting frustrated and not doing it.
Cindy, why don't you ask Michael Gray Eyes if he'll come on our show?
Why don't you? You hung around with him more than I did.
No, because he's mad at me because somebody in the accounting office didn't pay him on time.
Which is why I'm not calling him. All I ever said to him was, I have nothing to do with this.
I know it wasn't our fault. It was somebody in accounting didn't have this piece of paper, wasn't going to release a check.
Or was it because he was Canadian?
I don't know what it was, but
because we had trouble with Brother Gary once. One of the very first times we brought him because he was Canadian.
But I hope Michael Gray Eyes understands that it wasn't us. You know, we had the money was in the account. It was just you know, the UNO people weren't doing something, processing it. And it took a while to get him paid, and so you can ask him.
No, you. You know who we should contact? Billy Mills. We've had Billy Mills at UNO.
Yeah, we have, and he's one of the sharpest. He's just first rate all around.
And he's one of the ones that stayed. Him and Graham Greene were the ones that stayed until the very last person that wanted their autographs got it.
You know, what's impressive to me was that, you know, I've had the opportunity to take these guys out to dinner and to sit with them and talk with them.
Let me just throw in a little aside. You took them out to dinner and sat with them and chatted while I ran the film festival without your help, is what you're basically saying here.
Pretty much, yeah. Thank you for that. No, but having that opportunity, I got to hear some stories about the stories that they were telling, and it was just amazing to sit and listen to, you know, to Billy Mills, Chris Eyre, Irene Bedard.
Was the nicest guy as well.
Talking about some of the things that were happening when they were filming the show, and I got to tell this one. It was in Smoke Signals when you know, Gary's out in the shooting hoops. They're at they're by the trailer park, and it's nighttime, and there's sort of a flashback with Gary, and they were telling about how Gary was all over the place, and Gary. And Chris was saying it was very young, and it was his first film, and Gary had been doing this for a while, and he said, Gary was sort of you know, being Gary, and finally he said Gary was moving all over the place, and finally he said, I put my foot and drew a line and said, you're staying within this line here. If you're outside the line, then you're not going to be in the scene. And Chris said, next time you watch that movie, there's a line. He said, and that's the line I drew for Gary. You had to stay in. So if next time you watch Smoke Signals and they're shooting a basketball scene with they're out at the trailer park area where they were at. Look for, you can see it. It's like a line that was drawn in the sand. And Chris was saying he had to do that so that Gary would stay within the camera shot, because he was.
Well, how would you like to direct Gary?
No, I wouldn't like to do that.
Didn't you direct poor Kenny, did you direct him on the video spots for UNO?
For what? I don't think so.
UNO, for the ones he made for emergency management? Who did those?
I think my son Ruben might have done one or two, but I remember with Graham Greene, he goes in there and he does one or two takes. That's good enough. He did it once and said, "That's good."
When they're done, they're done.
They're done. And what are you going to say? No, one more. You flubbed the line a little bit. No, you just, okay, you're done.
Did you see that murder in the Osage Nation is starting to film?
No.
That'll be a really interesting one to see. If you actually read, I would loan you my copy of the book.
I don't read.
I know. And yet you're a professor. How does that happen?
I've read too much.
There's no such thing.
There's too much in here now.
No such thing. We just finished another prime time. That is Nebraska Humanities works with us to provide reading and books to Native children and their families. And prior to COVID, we would meet at a location. Nebraska Humanities would provide dinner. We would read stories. We had you come in and talk. We did a lot of that stuff. And now we're doing it on Zoom, and we just finished a Zoom session. It's unusual, but the kids and their parents really pay attention. So it's been a really great session. We're going to be doing it again in September.
I want to get to Knucklehead of the Week here real quick, but before I do that, I want to give an Indian of the Week shout out to the Blackfeet Nation, who are donating their excess COVID vaccines to some Canadians.
Yep.
It was amazing. They said 95, I think there was 95% of the res has been vaccinated, 0 COVID. So they're donating. So to the Blackfeet Nation, great job of sharing and doing the right thing.
And somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but the Navajo.
You're wrong.
The Navajo Nation is doing the same thing, I think.
I think they were donating some supplies to India.
India, yep. Okay, I am ready for Knucklehead of the Week. I have notes, Ed.
We only have 2 minutes.
I have notes. So start. I'm ready. I am ready.
Well, my Knucklehead of the Week nominee is none other than South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, who she's bucking to be the Republican nominee for 20.
The Trump Republican nominee for 2020.
But she
the Republican Party mixed up with the Trump Republicans.
I think we talked about this last week, sort of a movement amongst various states to outlaw critical race theory. And she's one of the leaders of that movement, and was on some 1776 Patriotic Education Committee, and promised that all of this critical race theory stuff is going to be banned and outlawed, and I think it's going to be a tough sell, to the kids, students in her state, saying how patriotic it was for her ancestors to come and invade and kill those Native kids' ancestors. So I'd like to see how that happens, but
and that's just one. That is the tip of the iceberg. She pushed forward the Sturgis rally. The Washington Post reported there were 260,000 cases of COVID.
Oh, look, Kenny, she's got notes. She's ready.
She does. Right now, she's suing the Biden administration because in the middle of a drought, the park said no fireworks. So she's suing the Biden administration.
You mean the Mount Rushmore National Park?
Yes, the Mount Rushmore National Park. When the when the Cheyenne River and Oglala tribes put barriers up to keep people out of the reservation to protect the tribes from COVID, she was first going to sue the tribes. And when that didn't happen, she turned to Donald Trump to help her get rid of them. She said it was ruining tourism because they couldn't drive through those roads. If you've ever driven through the roads from, let's say, Valentine to Mission, there's not people driving on those roads. I'm here to tell you right now. But like 85 does run through Rosebud, but still, who has the ultimate? She said she had the ultimate legal authority. The tribe said they had the ultimate legal authority.
And did anybody drive through there without the tribe's permission?
No, no. But did she have, and I'm asking you the question, did she have the ultimate legal authority, or did the tribes?
Well, it depends. The tribe is looking to their Fort Laramie Treaty. They always do. And with that, they should win every argument. Of course, the government will cite to some other law afterwards that says that they can, but I don't think they wanted to get into a big legal battle over that just yet, especially with the McGirt case that was pending in the U.S. Supreme Court. So I think they sort of said, let them keep people out. So nothing really happened.
Well, and what happened with her joining South Dakota and Minnesota deal and making them into one big state? You didn't read about that? Oh, she got roasted on Twitter. Roasted on Twitter. See, I tweet, Ed. I learned all kinds of information on Twitter.
Kenny, I was going to say something, but I didn't think it'd be appropriate for a family show. I have to remember my grandkids are watching.
Hello, Lucas, if you're watching, Grandma.
So for her leading the charge of
her entire
political race
career as the governor of South
and proposing patriotic education, whatever that means to whoever that means it to, Kristi Noem is the Rick Santorum Knucklehead of the Week award winner. Speaking of the name,
oh my God,
the new namesake of our Knucklehead of the Week award, he went on, I think it was CNN, because that's who he's working for, to try to walk back his statements. Oh, that's not what I meant. I just meant, the founding of the Constitution of our government. Oh, of course there was
founding of the Constitution based on the Iroquois Confederacy. I'm just saying.
But he tried to walk it back a little bit, and
he still has a job. If he had said it about African Americans, would he still have a job? No. But because it's Native Americans, it's okay. I see Illuminative is doing a lot of talking and protesting about that. Why does he still have a job? I thought CNN was political and cared about racial equity.
His name will be, I don't know about forever be linked to Knucklehead of the Week, because that's a pretty big stigma to overcome right there.
Did you ever think we would have anybody worse than the owner of the Washington?
Dan Snyder?
Did you ever think there'd be anybody worse? And look, I mean, he's way down at like 70th on the list now.
That's how come I'm not going to say it's going to be forever the Rick Santorum Knucklehead, because there may be some other person. Kristi Noem may overtake him. Who knows?
Well, and Ed, I don't watch CNN anymore. I watch MSNBC. I'm not going to watch a television station that promotes racism. And without firing him, they called us something else on election results night. Come on, CNN, who I'm sure has a representative watching.
Well, it looks like our time is coming to a close here. Kenny's nodding his head yes. Next week we have a guest lined up, and
you do? Who?
Terry Medina from the Winnebago Tribe Probation. He runs Fatherhood and Motherhood are Sacred.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to talk about that and the work he's doing up on the reservation to try to encourage fatherhood, motherhood, and strengthen families. So that was I think that'll be
to encourage fatherhood and motherhood. Did you hear what you just said? Trying to encourage good motherhood and fatherhood practices.
No, just trying to encourage fathers and mothers to do better. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, is there?
No, how my ears heard it was he's encouraging people to have babies. He's going up to encourage men and women to have babies.
Think what you want to think. We know how your mind works. But for me,
no idea.
For me, it's a little bit different. Anyway, Terry's going to come on next week, and we'll have a good time. He's always he's a good guy to have around. So with that, Kenny,
take it away.